So the next video is on absolute values. So what do we mean by that, and what is an alternative way of understanding the concept of absolute values? Okay, so an absolute value, let's start with the basic definition. What it does is it just tells you what the magnitude of the number is and ignores the sign. So in essence it is mod of x is equal to x if x is positive or 0, but it is negative x if x is negative. The point to note is, if x is a negative number, negative of the negative will become positive. So example, mod of 2 is 2 since 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Mod of negative 2 is minus of negative 2, which then becomes 2. Why did we do that? Since negative 2 is less than 0. So this is the basic definition. So generalizing it, mod of x minus a would be x minus a if x is greater than or equal to a, and mod of x minus a will be negative of x minus a if x is less than a. So whenever we are solving questions, this is how we are going to solve. Say for example, I have a question, mod of x minus 1 plus mod of x minus 5 is equal to 6. So how do I solve this? The simple way, we plot the 2 points 1 and 5 on the number line. Yeah, so 1 and 5 on the number line. On this side, x is greater than 5 as well as greater than 1. So it is greater than both of them. So it will just drop the mod and no change in the values. So this equation will now here become x minus 1 plus x minus 5 equal to 6. So we have got 2x is equal to 12. So the value of x will be 6. And 6 satisfies this region as well, greater than 1 and 5. So that's the solution. When I come here, the equation will change because it is to the right side of 1 but to the left, means less than. So the change will be x minus 1 minus x minus 5 is 6, which ends up becoming x cancelling out 4 equal to 6, which is completely false. So that means there is no solution in this region. Finally on this side it is less than both, so both will become negative. So minus x plus 1 minus x plus 5 equal to 6. So that would be negative 2x equal to 0. So x will be 0 and 0 is less than 1. So that will also be a solution. So 0 and 6 are the two solutions that we have, and this is how we approach it. Now an alternative way of understanding modulus is to think it of as a distance. So when I say mod of x minus 3 I equal to 5, I basically say that from the point 3 the distance of x is 5 units. So 5 units on that side gets us to 8, 5 units on this side gets us to negative 2. Our solutions will be 2 and negative 2 and 8. You can plug in and verify. Negative 2 minus 3 is minus 5, mod is 5, 8 minus 3 is 5, mod of that is 5. So modulus as a distance. Distance of x from 3 is 5. That is how we can interpret modulus as well. Let's take some questions now. So we have to find the value of x where the sum of those three mods attains a minimum value. So let's use the distance concept. So we have got the points 2, 5 and 9. So now look, as we approach this side, so we start from here. So what are the three mods basically? Distance, right? So it is this distance, means the length of the line, plus this, plus this. Observe that there are multiple overlaps. Now let's get this point closer inside. Let us say x came somewhere here now. What do we have now? The distances are this distance for x minus 9, for x minus 5 and for this. Observe the overlap is just a little bit. Okay. So that means the sum of distances is much lower. You can clearly see the sum of these three lengths and the sum of these three lengths here. As x goes further and reaches 5, then one of these becomes 0 and the sum of distances is only this plus this. So this has become the least here. As it passes, comes here, the sum of distances now become higher and higher. So that means the minimum is attained at this point. Okay? The minimum is attained at this point. So that means the median value, the middle value, okay. So between 2, 5, 9, the middle value is at 5. So the sum of moduluses attains a minimum at x equal to 5. And what is the value? It is basically the sum of this distance plus this distance, which is 4 plus 3, 7. Okay. So at x equal to 5, the value will be 7. That's the solution. So as a rule, if I just extend this further for the second one, this time there are 4. So we have got the values as -1, then we have -2. So that means 2, then a 5, and then a 9. Now since there is no single middle point, the minimum value will be attained at any value between 2 and 5. So the value will be x less than or equal to 5, greater than or equal to 2. Okay. The minimum value itself would be, pick any point here and find the distance. So see, this distance plus this distance plus this distance plus this distance. Essentially it is this gap plus this gap. So this gap is 3 and this gap is 10. So our answer would have been simply 13. That's for the second one. Now if I do the third one, using the exact same logic, observe that there are coefficients. Then how do we tackle that? So we'll just treat them as multiple points. Okay, so you have the points as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 1, 2 is there twice, 3 is there thrice, 4 is there 4 times, and 5 is there 5 times. Okay, we have to figure out the middle point or the middle range. Okay, so how many values do we have? We have got 5 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 terms. 15 terms is an odd number like here. So the middle term will be the 8th term. So it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So that means so counting again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this value. So that means at x equal to 4, we will attain the minimum for y. And just plug in x as 4 here, you will get the corresponding y value as well. So this is the approach for doing this. Let's take one last question on this. So this is saying the number of integers that satisfy this. So what are these basically? We have got the points. Again quickly, 20, 60 and 100. So 20, 60 and 100. So they are saying how many integers satisfy this. So your n should be such that n minus 20's gap is the largest. So that means n should not be on this side, because then it will be very close to 20. So n should be somewhere on this side. N minus 20's gap is the largest and n minus 100's gap is bigger than n minus 60. So it cannot be on this side also, because then it will be n minus 100 is closer. So n has to be somewhere here. Where is the halfway mark? This halfway mark will be at 80. So if it is at exactly 80, that is n, then this gap is 20, this gap is 20. Both of them will become 20. I want to keep this bigger. That means I will shift more towards this side. And if you observe 20 and 100, average value is 60. So if I reach 60, that means that n is 60, then n minus 100's gap, this one 40 and this one 40 will become equal. So I cannot reach that gap. I have to stay towards this side so that n minus 20 becomes bigger. So my set of values would be for n less than 80, greater than 60. So integer values 61, 62 all the way till 79. So how many values are there? 79 minus 61 plus 1, because we are going to count both the ends. So that is 18 plus 1. So there are 19 integer values for n. This is a question that came in CLAT. I hope you have understood how to do it. It is not about solving equations, but by looking at the graph. Thanks for watching.